Humans are born into this world and accept the reality around us without questioning it. We take the world around us for granted and continue with our lives. However, some people, at some point in their life, stop for a moment and begin to question absolutely everything they thought they understood. So, do you really know what a Sphinx is? In Greek mythology, the Sphinx was a creature of destruction and bad luck, often depicted with a woman's face, a lion's body, and wings. It was mythologized as treacherous and ruthless, capable of killing those who could not solve her riddle. This is clearly demonstrated in the myth of Oedipus, a work later written by Sophocles, under the famous title Oedipus Rex. What's curious about all this is that the history myths of ancient times were also written depending on the perspective of the civilization you belong to. In other words, depending on which civilization you came from. Thus, the female and malevolent character of the Sphinx in ancient Greek, or rather Hellenistic culture, was diametrically opposed in ancient Egypt. In Egypt, the Sphinx had a male appearance and a protective and benevolent character to guard their nation from possible invasions, and above all, to protect their kings and spirits. We know well that ancient Egypt, as an empire, had 3 long periods spanning about 3,000 years, making it easy to understand that Greek or Hellenistic cultures later absorbed and integrated this symbol of the Sphinx in their own way, as the Hellenistic culture is much later. Was Egypt then the place where the Sphinx first appeared in the history of our species? If you like ancient history and want to learn more about the world humans have slowly built, subscribe to my channel and quench your curiosity forever. You'll help me a lot to keep creating more videos like this one. In ancient Greek culture, the first reference to the Sphinx is found in Hesiod's Theogony, where he calls it the daughter of Orthrus, a 2-headed dog, and a mother he refers to as she, which could easily be the Chimera. The interesting thing about Greek writers is that over the centuries they would debate among themselves, even after previous writers had passed away. Writers like Lacon of Hermione, Hyginus, and Apollodorus gave the paternity of the Sphinx to Echidna, the mother, a monstrous nymph who belonged to the Gorgons or female serpent monsters, and Typhon, the father, a primeval Greek deity of winds and hurricanes. What everyone agreed on, at least, was that the Sphinx had a divine lineage. Well, everyone except Pliny the Elder, who believed the Sphinx was an animal from Ethiopia. The Greek Sphinx, in general, was a monster with the body of a winged lion, with the breasts and upper body of a woman. Some, like Apollodorus, insisted on adding more elements like a dragon's tail on her. And Herodotus, ended up using the term Andro-Sphinx to refer to the Egyptian sphinxes, differentiating them from the Greek ones as these didn't have wings. This represents a slightly appropriation of the symbol to their own culture. If you like my illustrations, you can buy any of them that you see me creating in my videos at my online store. The link is in the description and in the comment section. Hesiod calls the Sphinx the reign of the Cadmean, alluding to the time when she came from the farthest part of Ethiopia to bring terror to the fields of the city of Thebes. Most authors attribute her appearance to Hera, the goddess, who sent the Sphinx as a punishment to the Theban people for their impunity in the abduction and seduction committed by Laius, king of Thebes, with the hero Chrysippus. Other authors attribute her mythical eruption to Dionysus and Ares, as Cadmus, the founder of Thebes, killed the later son, the Ismenian dragon. The Sphinx destroyed the crops of the Theban city and killed anyone who couldn't solve her riddle. Supposedly, according to various Greek works recounting this myth, the Sphinx would leave when someone solved her famous riddle. On the other side of the Mediterranean, the most famous and ancient of the Sphinxes is located on the Giza Plateau, adjacent to the Great Pyramids and the banks of the Nile. Although the exact date of its construction is uncertain, the consensus in Egyptology is that it belongs to the 4th dynasty, and it is believed that around 2600 to 2500 BC, Pharaoh Khephren ordered its construction and had his face carved on it. The pharaoh believed that in this way his funeral complex would be protected forever, where he would reside on his journey to the afterlife. As incredible as it sounds, there are theories placing the dating of the origin of the Great Sphinx of Giza between the year 15,000 to 10,000 BC, a period when obviously Egyptian civilization or even any other civilization did not yet exist on Earth. Unless we know otherwise, but we'll talk about this in a future video. But if Egypt was the origin of the Sphinxes, why did their sculptors choose to recreate them with those exact animal forms and elements and not others? What did they see in them that we can no longer see? It is unknown what names the builders used to the Sphinxes, but inscriptions have been found on much later Sphinxes referring to the deities Khepri, Ra, and Atum, belonging to the Middle Kingdom period. Could these inscriptions be related to the famous riddle of the Greek Sphinx?